A global call to shame and action. Rise for Gaza, rise for humanity. People of the world, men and women, young and old from every corner of this earth. I stand before you today not with soft words, but with a heart ablaze, a voice trembling with rage, and a soul weeping for the catastrophe unfolding in Gaza. I speak to you, the ordinary citizen, the beating heart of humanity, and I speak to the leaders, presidents, prime ministers, kings, and queens, who have turned their backs on the cries of the innocent. Today, I demand answers. I demand action. I demand that we, as a species, reclaim our humanity before it is lost forever in the ashes of Gaza's suffering. Look at Gaza, a land suffocating under the weight of relentless oppression, a place where the air is thick with the stench of death, where the ground trembles with the impact of bombs, and where the dreams of children are buried under rubble. Gaza is not just a strip of land. It is a wound on the conscience of the world. It is a graveyard of innocence, where babies die of hunger, where mothers clutch the lifeless bodies of their children, where fathers dig through debris to find fragments of their homes, their lives, their hopes. The people of Gaza are not statistics. They are human beings, flesh and blood, with hearts that beat and eyes that weep, just like yours and mine. What is happening in Gaza is not a war. It is a massacre, a systematic annihilation of a people under the guise of conflict. The oppressor, cloaked in the rhetoric of self-defense, rains bombs on crowded neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, and mosques. Missiles tear through homes where families huddle in fear, their only crime being their existence. Drones hum like vultures over a land stripped of safety, targeting the defenseless with cold precision. Markets where people once bought bread are now craters. Schools where children laughed are now ruins. Hospitals, meant to heal, are now targets, their corridors filled with the wounded and dying, with no medicine, no electricity, no hope. This is not warfare. It is barbarism, a calculated assault on the very essence of humanity. The children of Gaza are starving. Their bellies swell with hunger, their eyes hollow with despair. They drink contaminated water, if they find water at all. Diseases fester in the absence of medicine, spreading through camps where families are packed like cattle. Mothers watch their infants waste away, unable to provide even a morsel of food. Fathers, stripped of dignity, beg for scraps to keep their families alive. The elderly, who should be revered, lie abandoned, their bodies too weak to withstand the cruelty of deprivation. This is the reality of Gaza today. A living hell where survival is a daily battle against hunger, disease, and death from the sky. And who is responsible? The oppressor, armed with the might of modern weaponry, claims to fight a battle, but their bombs do not distinguish between combatants and civilians. They call it a war, but it is a slaughter. They speak of security, but they sow terror. They drop leaflets warning people to flee, but there is nowhere to go. Gaza is a prison, its borders sealed, its skies patrolled, its seas blockaded. The people are trapped, caged in a nightmare where every moment could be their last. This is not a conflict between equals. It is a Goliath, crushing a David stripped of his slingshot. But the shame does not rest solely with the oppressor. The greater shame lies with the world that watches in silence. Every nation that stays quiet, every leader who offers empty platitudes, every citizen who scrolls past the images of Gaza's suffering. You are complicit. Silence is not neutrality. It is support for the tyrant. Every time you look away, every time you change the channel, every time you say, "It's not my problem," you tighten the chains around Gaza's neck. The world's leaders, who meet in grand halls and sign declarations of peace, have failed us. They have failed Gaza. Their silence is a betrayal, their inaction a crime. Presidents and prime ministers, you who call yourselves stewards of justice, where are you? Kings and queens, you who wear crowns of authority, where is your courage? Your muted voices echo in the graves of Gaza's children. To the people of the world I say, enough is enough. You are not powerless. You are not voiceless. You are the pulse of humanity, the force that can bend the arc of history toward justice. Rise up. Demand that your governments act. Flood the streets with protests, fill the air with your voices, flood the inboxes of your leaders with calls for action. Pressure your parliaments, your senates, your councils to stop funding the machines of war to stop supplying the bombs that tear through Gaza's homes. Demand humanitarian aid, food, water, medicine, shelter for the people of Gaza. Demand an end to the blockade that chokes their lives. Demand accountability for the war crimes committed under the world's watch. Your voice matters. Your action matters. Your humanity matters. Do not be fooled by those who call this complex, who say it's just politics. There is nothing complex about a child dying of hunger. There is nothing political about a hospital being bombed. This is about right and wrong, about life and death, about humanity and savagery. The oppressors' bombs are not just killing Gazans, they are killing our shared humanity. Every explosion is a reminder of how far we have fallen, how we, who call ourselves civilized, have become barbarians by our inaction. To those who profit from this war, who sell the weapons, who fund the destruction, who justify the bloodshed with twisted words, know this: your hands are stained with the blood of the innocent. You may sleep in luxury, but you will never know peace. History will judge you, and the cries of Gaza's children will haunt you. To those who mock the suffering, who spread lies to dehumanize the victims, who call the desperate terrorists, you are the true enemies of humanity. Your words are poison, your hearts are stone. To the people of Gaza, I say, you are not forgotten. Your pain is our pain. Your struggle is our struggle. We see you, we hear you, and we will fight for you. Your resilience in the face of unimaginable horror is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Hold on, for the world is waking, and justice will come. To every person listening, I ask, what will you tell your children when they ask where you stood when Gaza burned? Will you say you were silent? Will you say you looked away? Or will you say you rose, you spoke, you fought for humanity? This is not just about Gaza. It is about who we are as a species. It is about whether we will let the light of compassion guide us or let the darkness of apathy consume us. And so, I raise my voice to the heavens, to the Almighty, whose mercy is infinite. Grant strength to the weak, courage to the fearful, and wisdom to the lost. Let your justice rain down on the oppressors, and let your compassion lift the oppressed. Guide us, unite us, and awaken us to the truth that humanity is the greatest force, the greatest truth. People of the world, rise. For Gaza, for justice, for humanity. Let your voices thunder, let your actions shake the earth. Demand an end to the slaughter. Demand aid for the suffering. Demand accountability for the guilty. Let the world know that we will not stand by while Gaza weeps. Let the oppressors know that their time is running out. Let the children of Gaza know that they are not alone. Humanity is not dead. It lives in you, in me, in us. Rise, act, and reclaim it. Shame on us if we fail. The time is now.